Okay, have you ever had something like this happen, that you get something, you know, like whether it's in the mail or a text or a phone call or whatever, and you're going like, what? I didn't ask for anything. And then you immediately remember somebody had made a video on it. I used to do whenever I hear have some kind of scam myself, I'll make a video. Depends on what it is, but I'll say what it was and everything. Sometimes you kind of worry about that. Also, there's a reason I say that, but I'll skip it. But anyway, something like that did happen. I'll skip what happened. I'll skip what it was, and it made me think. I'm glad that some people out there had themselves done videos about this particular situation, and so I knew what to look up to question. I would have questioned it anyway. You just got online, Googled. The Google AI told me what to do, and so and basically nothing. I've blocked them, but it made me think. It's good that some people do this. Now, there are some people who go to an extreme with that kind of thing. They will take, like, somebody, like, say I made a video saying this is a scam. I hear, this happened here in Texas, and they'll take that and, man, they'll run with it. Within 24 hours, they put a video up on theirs talking about it like they are the experts, like they had the ones who experienced it, or they don't even care. They don't give anybody else any credit for what they don't ask. They just take. And they think that's okay. To some extent it might be, but you have to be very, very, very careful with anything that's written. Because copyrights. I'm not an expert on copyrights. I did read what Harvard had written about it. I don't know if it's still up, a few years ago. It goes into great detail, Harvard. Okay, so yeah, it goes into great detail, including things about fair use and all that. Now, like I said, I'm not anybody who knows about law. I'm not a voice of authority on it, so don't take my word as law. That just came naturally. But no, because I don't know, and I could be wrong. So there. Anyway, but there's some people that just are copycats. They, like Quintessa. She will copy anything. She will take it from anybody. She doesn't care. She sees something, she goes searching for it. She gets online, and she goes searching for anybody that has something that could make her some money. Okay, and that's what she's wanting to do, is make money off of it. So she'll go and see somebody. She'll check every one of those accounts, anybody who's written on this topic. Oh, she searches, like practically every day. Okay, possibly every day. And then when she finds it, she gets that video out at ASAP. That she is the voice. She's the one who knows all about this. She might say, oh, I saw this online. I saw, it doesn't have to be any particular place that she saw it. And she'll even take stuff that was, written, text, copy. From what I understand, anything that somebody, like if somebody leaves a comment on my video, it is copyrighted to them. Under my video, that comment, from what I understand, it could be wrong, is, I've just read it and that's what it said, is Google. I asked about YouTube, and it said that it's copyrighted to the person who wrote it, who wrote the comment. That comment is. Okay, now what happens after that, if they want to, somebody takes that comment and puts it on their own video, if I did, there's so much detail in what could be, might be, this kind of stuff and all that. But that is copyrighted to them. Okay, that's what it said. Now, and I had, by the way, I had asked Google AI a few days ago, is it okay if I take something that I had asked before, that you said, and, use it, to talk to somebody else about that thing. And it said, yeah, it's okay. So, now, is there some exceptions? Probably, possibly not, but not, it did not say that. It did not say what I looked up. So you look up and you see what you say. Fine, but like I say, I'm not a voice of authority on any of this, and I could be wrong. Very seldom do you hear people these days say, I could be wrong. Seriously. And especially these copycats. To get back to the copycat, Quintessa. She loves doing it. She just, it thrills her. She feels like she's accomplishing what she should that day. She takes great pride in it. Like that is her work. That is her, her cross to bear practically. Her, I don't know if I use that cross to bear, but it's something she has to do. She is practically destined to do it and must do it. I mean, she goes all out, and she will take those comments or take somebody's story that was written, and she will make a screenshot of it, and she'll put it up as it was her own. Or she would just say, yeah, I saw this. She won't say where. She won't put it in her description. Where it is, who's linked to it, nothing. Nothing. And sometimes she doesn't say anything associated with, but look at this story, and she reads it. Some people, they have a comment by someone who left them quite often what I see is when somebody leaves them a rude comment, they'll put the person's, however they're doing the names at that point. Some of them, it used to be their channel name, and then now it's an whatever name. And there were times on other stuff where it was this, that, or the other name. You get the gist. And they'll have it on the comment. Well, that's setting up people to be bullied. Okay. In my view, that's setting them up to be bullied. Because if somebody's giving you, say you're one of those very egotistical people that if somebody gives you a, that they don't want any constructive criticism. Okay. Anyway, I'm dealing with allergies again. I wonder why. Let's see. Are those flowers growing? Anyway, some people, they can't handle. Some would say it's a vulnerable narcissist or something like that. What is it? So many different names I've heard people use for that kind. The ones that, anyway, I don't throw everything under narcissism, but these are people who you better not. They let you know that they'll get mad and tell the whole audience, off, like the whole audience better learn that they don't need constructive criticism, like as if they are perfect people. They're not. They are not. We all make mistakes. I certainly do. I know I'm not a perfect person. I never have claimed to be perfect, ever, in my life. And now, if somebody's leaving a comment, I mean, come on. Where it is attack, where it's like they're a cyber stalker, or they're harassing people, or they are really saying things that you shouldn't say to anyone, no matter what. This kind of thing. And I mean, they can report it, I believe. I don't know. I've never had to do that. But I think there is a way to report them, for their comment. Flag it, I think. I think I've flagged one before. I don't know. I've been on it'll be 12 years on my original channel in September. I mean, I keep saying September when I know it's August. And every time I say it, I keep saying September. I think it's last September was so bad for me. The whole month I was sick, and part of August and part of the end of August and part of the beginning of October. I was so sick. That was my eating two things for a long while, because it was the only thing I could literally stomach. And there's two things this diabetic woman doesn't eat. One was cake, the other was ramen noodles. I'm serious. I don't remember how long it was I was doing it, but that was all I could do. And I even told my doctor's nurse practitioner, she didn't say anything. She just, kept notes on it. It was wild. But nobody knows what it caused it. The whole problem. So, anyway, yes, I'm stream of consciousness person. But, about these, get back to this, like Quintessa. Some people actually do, and I've always, the way I see it and the way I've spoken it as a social behavioral scientist, is I can see these are often people who they lack creativity. Seriously. Now, I'm not going to say what the mean way I could say, something like they don't have any brains. They do. They know how to steal. And that's how I see it, as somebody stealing another person's ideas or stealing their content in this kind of situation, so they can make money off of somebody else's, because some people have noticed, like if somebody makes a video, like I say, this happened to me, 2 people kept doing it, and right at the same time, one was male, one was female, for a couple of years at least. They could be doing it now, I wouldn't know. But like right after I make a video, they take that concept of one woman, not one of those 2. She actually, I only watched one of her videos, but she took one of mine verbatim, word for word, and made a video on it. But didn't say anything about me. She didn't say she got it from somebody else. She took it as her own. I'm sure she didn't do all the, but I'm not sure, because it was word for word. At first, I just got, oh my gosh. And I just walked away from it, couldn't handle it. But, this is kind of like Quintessa will do. Quintessa. Just call her Tessa. She will just, steal from anybody. But some of these people, they've actually learned that if you take somebody's idea, and one woman told people this, a different woman, you see somebody put out a good video idea. It could be just talking, it could be something shopping or something like that. And you see that, you do it as fast as possible. And that's what they will do. And one woman I actually confronted online and said, why are you doing that? And she was all giggles and, in her comments, LOL and giggle and stuff. Because she got caught. I called her on the carpet. And more than one did it with my videos back then. Nothing new to me. I'm not the only person. I know other people have trouble. The ones that have the brains, they have trouble. I shouldn't have put it that way. But the ones who are creative, have a level of creativity. And it doesn't have to be like a DIY or something, or drawing or something. Those are the ones get stolen from. It's so pathetic. And anyway, but with copyrighted material, and then, I'm not a vengeful person, but in a way you want somebody to get caught. There'd be a big stink about it. People find out, oh, she'd been copycatting this person, that person for years. But like I said, they some of them know that they do it. I never finished this. They see they steal somebody's idea, they make a video, within say 24 hours, they get lots of views. They get more than the original person quite often. I don't know if that's changed. I don't know if that's I don't know how it was working before, and maybe they can change it to where it won't work that way now. Hopefully they did. There is one woman, by the way, she puts herself out as and these are the words, the world's leading expert on a certain topic. And I found out how she promoted herself. Okay, seriously. And yeah, I'm not going to say how. I'm not going to say how. I figured it out. Okay. And how she promoted her. Because I'm not impressed by her at all. At all. And there's a guy who does it too. I'm not impressed by him at all. So, I don't know. I think I take a lot to get impressed, to impress me. I had so many professors, you know, actual voices of authority on topics. I was a career student for over 20 years, and then I taught at college and university too. So I'm not impressed by just somebody who gets up there and says that they're the world's leading expert on something. And you know what? They may have taught at college and university too. But once they say they're the world's leading experts, nope. No. Fill your stamp. Yeah. Now watch me say fill your stamp and somebody else use it. Seriously, this is how it happens. But it's on my mind because of more than one reason, really. You know, just how some people won't take accountability for doing something wrong, and that is something that if a person's doing it, they're doing something wrong. You know, seriously, you take somebody else's idea, that's wrong. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care if you try to tell yourself that you're doing it because you think they're wrong and that you know better, and you're going to take that that topic and make it better. No, you're probably not better. Like the ones that, especially one, he thought he was wiser than me, more intelligent than I. Over 20 years in these topics, and I told him, I didn't point out his name, but I told him in a video, if he would have taken my class, he would have failed. And that was no lie. No lie at all. He'd be kicked out of the university for plagiarism. Shoot. There's that point too. Seriously, plagiarism. It's a big thing at university. You know, watch that out, and people stealing people's ideas. Woo, boy. And they can prove it. Wow. And you would think somebody that teaches at college or university, they would know that. Pathetic. But, yeah, Quintessa, she does it. By the way, Quintessa is one of my fictional characters, which is, she's copyrighted to me. But it's true. It's written. These things that I put on videos, all my channels, and I have more than one because I write different spin-offs, I guess is a better way of term for it. Storylines and spin-offs on different channels for them. And they're all in writing, first and foremost. And I state it. I think it states in my description, when I use the description, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Yeah, I think it does. It does. And that these are copyrighted to me. And they're written. And I speak it, but it's written too. But you know, these pathetic people, and I cannot, I'm using actually nice words of what I want to call them. I am trying to improve myself. And I do see these as people that, you know, they are not people I would want to be around. I would want to have anything to do with. That, you know, online even. Like I said, these two that were doing it for 2 years straight, at least, I don't have anything, I don't watch them, I don't know, you know. Every once in a while, one of them, well, either one of them would, every blue moon, get, you know, what is it called, recommended. But that finally, I think, stopped. But both of them have people who have, of course it's not just me, people who have really been pounding them because they do the same thing to them too. And they got enemies, online enemies, because rightfully so. The people don't like people like that. They're not making any friends, but they're making views. They're getting those views, man. And that's what they want. They're searching for that money. Money, money, money. And that's the root. How does it actually go? It's something like the root of all kinds of evils. It wasn't, you know, it was something like that. And that's King James Version. And I was going to look that up the other day. If you could get in any trouble by quoting the Bible. I don't think there's anybody around from the King James Version that would sue somebody for copyright. Although if you use the King James Version, the people who made the book could say something, I would imagine. Let me check on that. I'm just curious now. I did look it up, and it said that in the United States, basically no, but that's just the United States. Go look it up yourself. I don't want to quote from it because, you know, it might be copyrighted. But that was interesting what I read. What it told me was, I Googled it, AI said not in the United States. Because what it was under the copyrights, or the last time it was copyrighted was in the 1611, I think, 1600. So yeah, but that's here in the United States. It's not in other countries, not necessarily. Whatever theirs are, I wouldn't know. Didn't even know what was here. But it says, you know, that's the King James Version. King James Version. There are other ones. You know, when I was growing up, we were taught, you know, I went to these people were a very holy church, very holy people. Good, decent people, too. And it was none of this, it was all about money. Nope. Nope. It wasn't even in a building. You know, it was in people's homes. And these were very holy people. Seriously, I can't say that again. I can't say it. I mean more. I have been to other churches, and I've yet to see anything like what I grew up in, and that was that holy. And one of the things we learned was not to, not to go to other versions of the King James Version. And the way I say version just doesn't sound right to me today. But to not do it, not to read these other ones, because they're translated to suit the times now. Okay, I would think, I mean, I'm going to leave it there. I have a lot of opinions on that, but no, I don't want to be blasphemous or anything near it. But that's what I remember being taught, not to read study guides, not to read, like kids' books where they can change the subject a little bit. I remember that, But anyway, lately copyrights have been on my mind quite a bit for various reasons. I did a video just the other day about it, in fact, and I put it on one of my channels that, that doesn't really get many views. I've been, on and off sick since 2023 with who knows. Still don't have diagnoses for some of them, still don't. And who knows what is really causing it and how they can fix it. And they tried to do one of them, and it made me worse, and I thought I was going to die. Honestly, thought I was going to die. And that was recent. That was recent. And got pneumonia during the while. On top of it all, had a bad reaction to the medicine. So, anyway, I'm rambling. But, yeah, now that I'm feeling better, I was saying that because my channels are what they call dead channels, not shadow banned. Because shadow banned, you have, from what I understand, I could be wrong. I did the Google AI. That's where I get this stuff from, and it basically said that it's from doing something wrong. That you shouldn't be doing against whatever copyright or whatever. Community guidelines, that kind of stuff. But I don't do that. But there's also something called dead channel, and it's when it's not being very consistent. And I've been sick a lot, and during the times that, like September, and during times like May this year, I have not been. There were times I wasn't making any videos at all. Because of all these strange. Every time you turn around, I have something new. But then right now I can say I'm so much better. I'm back in physical therapy. I've only been once, and it was only in the office, and boy, did it make my body hurt. And it wasn't much. It was, I mean, I'm talking like a little bit of movement to test the range and motion and stuff like that. And that was quite a bit for me, for my poor body, after all it's been through since 2023. Yeah, it's been rough since 2023, early 2023. Whew, really rough, all kinds of stuff. But, so I don't get many views. So nobody's stealing from me these days, I would imagine. You know, they wouldn't be able to bounce off of the few that I would get. My channels actually were doing pretty well for a small channel, and it was always the bigger channels that would come and steal my, one of them, she really wasn't. She was just stealing from everybody, though. I mean, not everybody, but everybody, like certain people that were, I don't know if, I don't belong to any groups online, any communities really. I don't belong to people, other people. I'm independent in more ways than one. But some of them, like a genre or something, I'm all over the place, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to be part of any group at all. No, because some of these people you don't want to be associated with. Yeah. Some you might, but some you don't. And I've noticed since I was a child that sometimes when there's a group, there's going to be people that you don't want to be associated with in it too. So, anyway, rambled enough. Talk to you on another video. Bye.